Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Casson, Chief Investment Officer at True Potential. Before going into what a typical day is like working from home, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on myself. So I started out in the investment industry 20 years ago, started as an analyst. Over that time I've had the privilege, I think, to work with some really knowledgeable people and to learn from them. What's important to me about investment? It's about passion. Passion to deliver great outcomes for clients, and passion to learn and to keep yourself going because the market's always challenging your views. So what's a typical day like for myself working from home? Well, I think the one thing that we can say is that no 2 days are the same. Why is that? Because the market's challenging the views, it's constantly changing in front of you, so you have to think about what does that mean. The things that are constant are what we do as a team at True Potential in terms of our communication together. So we have a normal 9 o'clock meeting on a daily basis to discuss what's happened in the market overnight, any news that we need to be aware of that impacts the True Potential portfolios and any of the positions that we have. We're then also thinking about the things that we need to achieve that day from a priorities perspective, so dealing with client queries, helping our colleagues in other areas of True Potential deal with their queries that are getting from clients, and also thinking about how we're going to engage with their managers, the challenge that we're putting to them, the questions that we're asking of them, and the information that we're seeking as a result of that. Other things that are happening during the day is planning out for our rounds of meetings with the managers. So what are the key questions that we want to address with them? The end of the day, we have a wrap-up meeting, 4:30, where we'll just come together, typically just for half an hour to run through what we've achieved during the day, any issues that we're having as a team, and how they can be resolved. So the start of the day for me is very much about finding out what's been happening in markets overnight. I said that I have a look at just how the US closes. That sort of sets me up for thinking about the morning comments that I'm writing for the team. So what I do each morning, go through various different websites, Bloomberg, etc., to get an information and a sense of what's been the important factors in markets over the past 24 hours, write those down with my own notes, and then put those together in a morning comment that's circulated around the team at head office in Newcastle, used to discuss market movements with clients, etc. I then go on to think about how I'm going to turn that into the morning markets video, and that's what I'll just do in the next couple of moments. So that's the script ready for morning markets, and I'm just going to record it here on the computer. I just also wanted to say thank you for all the feedback that we get from morning markets. It's great to see that it's useful for our advisors and for our clients alike. So how do we do this on a daily basis? Very simple. We just use a program here on the computer, and here we go for today's episode. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Markets on Tuesday, the 4th of August. I just wanted to share with you a couple of the things that we at the team of True Potential have been discussing today. So this is my home office. As you can see, I've got everything set up with the laptop such that I can work away here as if I was just in the office in Newcastle. So access to all the systems and all the monitoring that we would have at the office, at head office. The other thing that I've really enjoyed about being at home and home working is having access to all of my books. I have a lot of books that I read around investment and what's been happening at the moment. I'm just looking through a book on factor investing, which a number of our portfolio managers are starting to use as they build their strategic asset allocations. One of the great things about investment is that it's constantly challenging, constantly evolving. How do I go about keeping myself up to speed with some of the things that are going on? Primarily through reading. Over 20 years I've accumulated a lot of books, and I've really enjoyed being here at home over the past 4 months, because when I've been hearing something or been thinking about something, I've been able to delve into the book and think about what that means and what does that mean for our clients at True Potential. So that's the morning video recorded and sent off to the marketing team, where they're able to work their magic and put it together in a way that then comes out to yourselves on the various different social media channels. that's allowed me to turn my focus to the next aspect of the day, which would normally be our team meeting at 9 o'clock, but I'll come to that another day, because today is one of the important days within the calendar for the investment team. It's the quarterly meeting of our independent investment committee. You'll be aware that they provide the oversight to what we do with and how we work with our managers. So that meeting itself takes place over the course of today. Normally, it would be taking place in the office, but like everything else, we've moved to the remote working environment, and that committee functions in the exact same way remotely as it would have it in the office. So what does it entail? We have an initial section where we discuss with the independent members, the 4 independent members and the chairman, around what's been happening within True Potential as a business, so within True Potential Investments. Then we'll discuss what's been happening in markets, how our portfolios have performed within that context. Then we'll move on to the next part of the meeting, where we will have today 2 of our managers presenting to the investment committee and also being challenged by the investment committee. And that is one of those aspects that adds that layer of additional oversight to what we do as an investment team. So we'll have both UBS and Close Brothers presenting today, 2 very important component parts of the True Potential portfolio solutions. So I'll not have you sit and listen to me, see with my headphones in for most of the day, but I'll come back later on and give you a little bit of a flavour about what happened within that committee discussion and some of the areas on which we focused. That's the committee just finished. It's just gone 5:05. So a long day of presentations from our manager partners and also discussions from ourselves as the TPI investment team with the independent members. What do we take away from it? Lots of good challenge from the independent members to both our investment partners, UBS and Close, but also challenges to ourselves as the IM team. So you'll probably be thinking, well, what happens as a result of that? Well, there are a number of follow-up points that as a team we will deal with. How that will work is that we'll liaise with the chairman and we'll think about what's the best way to tackle those. Is it further follow-up presentations with the managers, or is it the IM team doing some additional analysis, some additional work around that and presenting our findings back to the independent committee? But that will happen over the next week or so. We'll collate together that information and then we'll move that forward, both in connection with what we'll do as a team, but also the feedback that we'll provide to our investment manager partners as well. So that's the day in the home office coming to an end. What do I normally do then to try and relax, wind down a little bit from being in the office? Typically head out on the bike. I'm very lucky to live here in the Scottish borders, very easily to get out into the countryside, but more importantly to get onto roads where there's very little traffic from other cyclists, very little cars as well, and that's a great thing to be able to do in the evening. So the other thing that I suppose is great about the bike, and obviously linked to my job around stats, you can pick up any stats that you want on the bike, and whether it's speed, it's your cadence, calories burned, whatever, it's all there. So what did I do at the start of lockdown? I didn't get a bike. I've had the bike for quite a while, but what I did do was I set myself a challenge to say, could I travel around the route that I normally do and do that under an hour? So I've got about a 16-mile route, which I've been setting myself that challenge, and thankfully I've managed to complete it 1 or 2 times. It's taken a long time, a lot of miles I've had to go in to try and to get the speed up, or the average speed even. There's another stat to allow that to be able to be achieved. So I'm just going to get myself changed now and then we'll head out in the bike. So at the end of the day, if I can fit it in, I like to head out in the bike. So here goes, out for 25 miles around the countryside. And that's the direction we're heading on the bike, out towards where, well, possibly it looks like rain, but who knows. So I've been out from a bike ride, and then just in the evening before shutting down the computer, I like to have a check into the US market to see what's happened. US market closes about 9 o'clock UK time, so I'll have a quick look at what's been happening and think about how that'll fit into the morning markets video for tomorrow morning.